Thank you for coming to Vacation Bible School. You know what we're studying tonight? We're studying, if your shirts all say Journeys with Jesus. So we're studying about Jesus. So tonight, our theme is on when Jesus was a little boy. We're going to learn in a puppet show something about Jesus when he was a boy and he went to the temple. So let's listen and see what we can learn. We'll talk about it after. Puppets, are you ready? Jasper and Jackie.
Jasper, have you ever wondered what Jesus was like as a boy?
Sure, but I've never heard much in Sunday school about his childhood.
That's because the Bible doesn't tell us much about Jesus as a child.
The only thing I remember is when he got lost from his parents on a trip to Jerusalem.
Speaking of being lost, didn't you get lost last week?
Yeah, I guess I was like Jesus because I was at the church building and my parents went home from church before they missed me.
I guess they were worried about you, weren't they?
Yes, until they found out what had happened.
What did happen?
Well, some of the older boys were going to stay at the church building Sunday afternoon and play football, and I wanted to play too.
Did you ask your parents?
No, I knew they would say no. I just hid in the church building until my parents left, and then I came out hiding.
Why didn't your parents look for you?
A lot of times after church, I ride home with my neighbors, so my parents thought I was with them.
So when they found out you weren't at your neighbor's house, they came looking for you?
That's right, and they weren't too happy when they found me.
Don't you think your parents had a right to be upset?
Not really. After all, Jesus did practically the same thing when he was a boy, and I'm supposed to be like Jesus.
Wait a minute, Jasper. As I recall, you weren't staying for extra Bible study or special devotional.
Well, no, I was staying for a football game.
I think your parents would have been more understanding if you had been staying late to ask Bible questions of the minister.
I guess what I did was a little different than what Jesus did.
Besides, Jasper, you were being openly disobedient to your parents. You hid from them because you knew they would not allow you to stay and play football.
I get the point. Jesus was so interested in learning about God. He stayed to ask the teachers questions.
Our parents would probably be delighted if we stayed late to ask our teachers some Bible questions.
You're right, Jackie. I'm going to be more concerned about my Bible studies from now on.
That would definitely help us be more like Jesus. We also need to remember that Jesus was obedient to his parents and grew in wisdom, stature, and in favor with God and man.
That sounds like a full-time job.
It is more. Following Jesus is a lifetime project. There's no retirement from being a Christian.
All right, puppets are ready. We've got Grandma and Joey in this show. Okay?
Grandma, do you ever get tired of going to church?
Well, young man, I do get awfully tired sometimes, but I don't get tired of going to church.
But don't you get bored in Bible class?
No, there's always something new to learn, even if you're an old grandma like me.
Grandma, I like my teacher, but I think I know the Bible stories by now.
Grandson, I'm glad you know a lot of Bible stories, but we still never learn everything about the Bible.
Yeah, but after you learn about Adam and Eve and Noah and Abraham and Moses and Samson and David and Jesus and the apostles, what else do you need to know?
Let me ask you a question, Joey.
Okay.
When you learned to read and write the alphabet, do you think you knew it all?
Of course not. That was just the start.
So, after you mastered Sesame Street, you still needed to go to school.
Of course, there's always something else to learn in school.
That's the attitude we need in Sunday school, Joey.
But it doesn't seem the same.
Well, let me ask you about a few Bible characters.
No problem. I know all about it.
Okay, how about Abimelech?
Who?
How about Phineas?
Hmm?
How much do you know about the book of Malachi?
Well, not much.
Well, I'm sure you remember about Epaphroditus, don't you?
Okay, Grandma, I get the picture. I guess I don't know as much about the Bible as I thought I did.
What you have learned is a good start. Those major Bible stories are like the alphabet. They provide a foundation for learning so much more.
Are you saying I'm still on Sesame Street level when it comes to the Bible learning?
Well, compared to Jesus, you are still on Sesame Street. When Jesus was young, he wanted to stay overtime at the temple.
I remember that story. Jesus' mother and father thought he was lost, but he had stayed at the temple with the teacher.
That's right. The Bible says Jesus was sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking questions.
Wow, if Jesus was listening to the teachers and asking questions, I need to do the same.
All of us need to do that. We never quit learning about God and His Word.
Well, I better quit talking and get ready. It's almost time for Bible class, and I've got a lot to learn.